So on Monday, Memory of Chaos resetted, giving us a new turbulence, which focuses on Trotters that when they are slain, they will give you 2 skill points. They are completely baked. As a matter of fact, I feel like they hinder the gameplay more than anything. I suffered in this Memory of Chaos, and here's why. Firstly, it is no surprise that this Memory of Chaos has been tailor-made to be fitting for Dan Heng and Vivid Lene. That's what they usually do. When we had Kafka, it was all based around multiple DOTs, and at the end of the round, there would be like another trigger of DOTs. However, in this case, I feel like, while true it helps, it can definitely help some other characters as well. It feels like it hinders more. Granted, I say this as someone that has been playing with Clara and Sampo a lot. And while I would sometimes bring Asta, in this case I'm glad that there were no fire weak enemies on the major levels, except for the monkey. The freaking monkey is the one that I'm gonna hate forever. Characters with bounds really get screwed over. Even Weld, right? So Weld, Sampo, Asta. The fact that some of the damage can be lost because they're going into the Trotters is absolutely horrible, because it can prevent you from breaking a shield that you really need, and not getting the specific type of break that you're looking for can be awful. For example, in Sampo, even though I know that he can apply easily a lot of stacks of wind shear, not being able to wind break in order to apply an extra 3 stacks of DOT sometimes did make my runs clear much slower. And more often than not, I was trying to make sure that if I had enough damage and if the bounds would actually be in my favor, to at least return to the enemy more than once, or how many bounces I lost to the Trotters. It genuinely felt awful. It felt awful to lose the damage, and it felt awful to not be able to recover anything, because, you know, sometimes the Trotters would just escape, they would live, and so it's like, oh hey, not only did you lose the damage, but then it's no longer, it no longer yields a reward, which is the main gimmick of this Memory of Chaos. Granted, it is because I wasn't focusing on the Trotters. I mainly did this in a way where I was just letting them exist. At the same time, that did lead to other frustrations, because I would have to see over and over and over again as the Trotters got their scared animation, where they would, like, you know, first get a little bit more worried, then start panicking, doing their whole formula calculations so that they could escape, and then they escape. Mind you, they were essentially non-existent, but, like, combat-wise. But it was still annoying seeing their animation pop up over and over and over again, because I wasn't slain. Mind you, in hindsight, one of the pluses of this thing has been the fact that when I've slain all the enemies, I'm able to just gain 3 points out of that. Because by slaying all the enemies in the room, it auto slays all the Trotters, meaning you get extra points when you're going into the next wave. That is a benefit that I will give them. Nonetheless, it still felt rough to deal with that. And the damage loss for dedicating attacks towards the Trotters did feel really bad in my opinion. Another pro that I can definitely give the Trotters was the fact that they occupied slots made it easier to deal with certain enemies, solely because of the fact that they couldn't spawn more enemies, such as the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus spawning the Abominations, or the Silvermane Guard spawning the mini Silvermane Guards, like shown us in the first wave. Also, this is a moment in this run that I was trying to get for recording where I got really unlucky, because they just kept hitting Kafka over and over again, and as you could see, she died. Anyways, we're cutting off to like a moment where now I actually move on to Yanqing with my whole team being alive, which feels great. The one thing that I did feel like I needed, and it was again annoying, is how you are essentially demanded to have all 3 types of elements towards Yanqing, all his weaknesses. Mind you, yeah, the Trotter takes the space, again, being really like an MVP, or taking over for a team. But if I get unlucky, let's say I didn't bring Sample, and all of his blades were weak to wind, then I wouldn't be able to insta-break all of them in a singular swoop. And I would have gotten annoyed by that. Or, I don't know, if I brought like a different team hoping, I'm just like, I know that he's weak to wind, so I'm gonna bring all wind like Blade, which I don't have, and Bronya, which I don't have, and Danhong, which I do have because he's free. But you know, it just felt rough that Yanqing is demanding to have a full team of all three elements. And wind is rare. Wind is rare because you only have Sampo and Danhong, and then everybody else is a 5-star, right? I think there's no other accessible 4-star wind character. Yeah, beyond that, I feel like that's just mainly the rant that I wanted to give on this Memory of Chaos. It is nice and it is fun, but it's also annoying. It is definitely so much more fun if you do have Imbiber Linné. I just don't have it. I'm not as lucky and privileged as many to have him. But it genuinely seems like it would be like a lot of fun. And to those that are trying to beat it, best of luck. I really wish you all the best. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you liked of this Memory of Chaos or what you hated. Because in my case, I'm just ranting. But like, if you genuinely like this, do let me know. And if you can, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.